my early morning, just realizing that it looks like I got some smudgy eyes, but I am here. If you're new to my channel or if you're new to following these morning lives, this is introducing my deck of the Everyday Goddess Oracle cards that we are hoping to be able to send into for publishing. Hopefully, I was hoping by the end of March. We'll see if we meet that deadline, or start pre-sales is what we want to do. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Just letting some people join in, just letting the room fill up. All right. Oh, my stomach's growling. So if you were in yesterday, you noticed we had my beautiful Sacred Sarah card, and there was so much significance and so much to that card yesterday, and so much emotions, and so many things were going down yesterday in that energy, and or coming. And that Sacred Sarah card is precious, special in so many ways. So you never know what's coming. You never know. I would never thought that it would have landed on that day, like how it all aligned to be that day that that card came out. And it's funny because the card that came out with it was actually our card of today, which is the Guardian. So good morning, Samantha. Good morning, Tracy. Welcome everybody who is watching in. Good morning, Tammy. The good way to get your mental health boost today. Yes, it is. This is a good start to our day. I am so loving these mornings. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to want to give up these mornings when I finish all 45 cards. We're at card number 38. And and I really love these mornings. There's something about these mornings. There's no real expectation. There's no, there's no everybody getting chose for reading. It's not like my evening stuff when it's like everybody wants that so bad. Everybody that's coming in now is coming in to sit in this energy, to sit in the experience of the morning card. And a big part of what I do, of course, is because I'm a spiritual healer. And so I work energy, and I bring forth, I come from meditation to in here. And so I bring forth the healing love that I have just gone through in the meditation. And I'm now open and working through that love energy the rest of the day, and sending out that love and light, and learning compassion, and giving, like, teaching compassion and teaching those things. If you can see on my board behind me that way, like my little man, that this was me. This is some of the work that I teach, and I'm teaching about the meridians and the 21 minor chakras in our body, and the seven major, and then the 12 chakras, that system. We have 114 chakras within our body system, and then we have our aura and the field of energy that's around us. So once you really start to work with energy, you realize how we are so much more than what you are looking at in the mirror every day. You're so much more than that. And so if you keep picking apart this human that you are, you really should take a deeper look deeper into your own eyes. See the good that you try to get others to see, right? And so I'm going to bring Willow up, and I'm going to bring up the card of the morning. Good morning, Mary, and good morning, Summer. Good morning, good morning. And so and everybody else that's watching, good morning as well. Not everybody comments, and that's perfectly fine. I can see everybody who's watching. So our card of this morning is Willow, and she is the Guardian. And I do have a new look for the cards. I don't know why I didn't bring them up this morning, but the cards now have another whole new look. The number style is changed. There's a lot changed about the cards again now. And Willow is what we call a crone energy. She's been through all stages. She's at her wisdom stage, and that don't mean human knowledge. She got that too, but it's about wisdom. It's about understanding what's in our control, what we can control, what we can't control. And that's where the energy comes in. If you see a tree as only a tree, it'll always just be a tree. If you see you as not valuable or not worthy, you'll always see yourself as that. If you keep trying to bring out only the best in everybody else, and you make it your mission that you think you're here to help fix everybody and for other people. Oh, I stuck out that relationship for so long because I just knew there was a good person in there. I wanted them to see that good person. That's not your job to make that person see the good person. That is their job, for them to seek, to find that good person within. Willow is stunning, isn't she? And so the guardian card, the guardian angels, the guardian is also you. So you are the guardian of the most precious gift, the most sacred piece. And that is the Christ like light that's inside of us all, God like, your soul light, whatever you want to call it, that connection to source. The best hidden secret, God knew where to hide his most sacred places, because he knew humans would never look in the place where it was hidden. It would be the last place. So the last place that we look for every bit of fulfillment, fulfillment, every bit of light, every bit of love, every bit of contentment, every bit of peace, every bit of serenity. The last place we look is within. It's usually once you have fallen to your knees more times than you have been standing, when you are at that low, when you've gone through enough shitty relationships, or, and I don't mean it's just the person was bad. I mean, it's just how you even are in the relationship. Probably got nothing to do with the other person, but enough times where you have been so far away from home, so far away from you, that you lost you so bad and you kept crying out, I don't know. I need to go home. Like, I just want to return. I need to leave. I need to change towns. I need to get a new home. I need to leave this life. I need to leave this relationship. I need to do this. I need to do this. Because you keep seeking and searching for the material world to fill you up, to bring you contentment, happiness, love, peace, all those things. And then you place an expectation upon that world, right? And so when we place that expectation upon that world, then we are never going to be fulfilled. And we always live in a fantasy, a reality, or illusions that we then bring to reality. And we create our own stories of being the victim to our own circumstances, but we blame everybody else. You will never heal as long as you're blaming the ancestors. You'll never heal as long as you're trying to find redemption for the ancestors. You'll never heal as long as you are resenting your parents, the ancestors, anyone who walked before you. Because you're always going to be looking to repair that through somebody else. The most sacred treasure is hidden within you. And you wouldn't be here if you didn't have it. It is all that keeps us alive. And we keep that. We hold that inside of us. And we are the guardians of it. And we are the protector of light. We are the protector of love. But we're all of that for us first. And that doesn't mean we're going to forget about everybody else. By that, we mean when you wake up and you say thank you. When you wake up and you look in the mirror and you don't criticize yourself. That's how you start a you first day. And then you can go out and keep giving and doing the things that you do, and then accepting the love and the gratitude that's coming back to you from the people that you are giving to. Because all that you are receiving, all that you're giving, and all that you're receiving is feeding and fueling the light, so that your body, your essence, your mind encapsulates this light, and you become an embodied being of light. So as a light worker, as the woman I am today, the woman who really worked her butt off to more than exist, to do the hard stuff, to do the healing, was so that I would lose one of the biggest claim to fame that I had. And that was oh, I'm a kind person. I'm a good person. All of the time that you want to claim those titles, every time you are comparing yourself to somebody else who is not being so good, or not being so kind. So all of those times you are contributing to all of everything that you don't want. And so you become the word, you become the thought, you become the energy, you become all of those things. So in defining yourself as better than other people, then you truly take yourself farther away from everything that you want to be. And so this inside of us is all alike. We all have a unique code. We all have our human design. We all arrive with that. We all have that uniqueness. But this precious treasure inside, we all have it. We just forget it. We just don't know it's there. We don't want to know it's there. We try to give it all away and we can't. Good morning, everybody who's joining. Speaking truth, Lisa, speaking truth. And good morning, Gail and Juanita and Destiny and Judy. Good morning, Mary. Good morning. And so this is us, this is the guardian. And when you can see yourself as that most precious gift, you also know that you can honor and you can love the ancestors and those who've walked before you, but to move beyond trying to get redemption, trying to validate something. Your parents are not responsible. The world is not responsible for the attitude that you have today. Nobody who commented on your Facebook is responsible for the attitude that you're now trying to justify. Nobody. Or the fact that you're sad and miserable. Nobody. That's you. And when you take ownership of that, now you can also release it, right? Because if all of this is taking up so much space inside of you, it becomes so hard. It becomes almost an impossible task to continually keep your light shining. The dullness, and that's where the shadow comes in, right? That's where the essence of hiding yourself comes in. Good morning, Miss Betty Thorne. Right, Gail? Right. Yes, it is right because the guardians tell me it's right. I channel these messages. These messages come from my experience, but they also come from channeling. It comes from years and years of work that I've been doing on myself. Because the biggest thing that I seen that I found to be very disturbing to me was the fact that seeing and like the unhealed healer and seeing when the world goes sideways how easy it is for people to lose themselves, or how when life is not going as you've created that comfort for yourself, or as you've created that illusion of a perfect life, and when something happens and you just fall to shreds and you start to become everything that you work so hard not to be, or everything that you're trying to make in somebody else. And when you fall to your knees enough, you realize that's not serving me. That's not serving me. And so when we can rise up from there, and so your lowest moments can be your most defining moments. And I don't get to define the character of another. You don't get to create. Well, we do it all the time. Everybody's always doing this, right? You don't get to create the identity or the story of another, but so many people do it because they build this, they have this identity in their head based around a story. So they'll say, "Oh, I met this person and she was not very nice." I remember one time I was on some sort of spiritual healer group and somebody started talking about my mentor, who I adore, who's passed away. And he talking about Wayne Dyer, and everybody's like talking about how inspirational he was and all the good work that he did. And the one person that wanted to find the one thing about the person, it's like we're all talking about the good work, but somebody has to throw the dark dagger in there, right? It's just like, just feel the need to try to instill that into everybody's mind, what that person is feeling themselves. And like, well, I met him once and he was such a snob and he was cranky and he was this. And I said, imagine as if you just walked out of an auditorium and you are on stage and you have to channel the energy of every single person in that room. And then when you get to come down, everybody is then trying to grab onto you, wanting to take something more of you, like you didn't already give enough. You just stood on stage for 2 hours and you channeled through these messages. And then when you got off stage, people start to want more and more and more, questioning, wanting more and more and more. But you already gave all that you have to give today. So when he came off of stage, he needed a moment to be his human self. He needed a moment to come back into his energy and to recharge before. And so he was just trying to get away to take that moment. How do you know? Right? It's like, so we assume those things. So she created her story around one incident, one experience, and that became this whole negative, dark energy that then she instilled into her own heart because that's the color that she's radiating out, the color of anger, the flashes of anger of that everybody is like this. So no matter who she would meet, they would probably become this person because that's the person she was living as, that she was trying to disguise and everything else by blaming it on everyone else. And so that's what you're often doing. When you become the victim of somebody else's bad behavior and you say, how dare they do that to me? Look deeply into their eyes and then say to yourself, how dare I do that to me? How dare I be rejecting myself that way? And then when you look even deeper again, you go into wonder. So beyond yourself, then you go into wonder. I wonder what it would be like if we could just be free of this kind of energy. Now you're talking the God code. Now you're talking the essence of the higher self. Because each time when you looked into the eyes and you seen the piece of you, you're thinking from your heart of what you do to yourself. If it hurt that much coming through somebody else's mouth, imagine how much it's hurting you to internalize everything that you think and feel and thought that you carry, you speak about yourself, or that you carry based on the past. Right? So then when you take it even higher, I wonder what it would be like if we could live free of that kind of energy. Now you're going to the guardian energy. Now you're rising up. You're going into the higher self. You're going higher vibrating energy. Take that breath. Breathe from your Christ-like, which is right here, sacral energy. Breathe from there. Push the light up. And as you push the light up, you notice your face will light. I wonder what it would be like. Today, wonder, what would the world be like if we could all be embodied and living a life of love and light without judgment, without criticism, without criticizing another? If we could all become the guardian and beautifully protect and take care of this human, to show ourselves the dignity, to also show dignity to humanity. Imagine what kind of world we would become. We would be blossoming, blooming, and growing in so many ways. But that's not what's happening. And so you can't bring a new world by behaving the same way you did in the old world. You can't use the old energy to create a new world. You have to find new energy. So today, find new energy. Don't try to use the energy you even had before we got in here today. Now you got a new sense of love that was just given to you through this healing energy that we bring out today. And today this goes to you. Good morning, everyone else who's joining in. Right? Yeah. Right? You got no one to blame. Because how we are behaving and reacting and responding today is all us. It doesn't, it's not that it doesn't matter what happened to you in the past. You can heal through what happened to you in the past, but you can't fix it and continually holding on to that resentment, that blame, that trying to fix from there, trying to still get back at somebody for way back there is destroying the most beautiful pieces of you. It ages us, it takes us farther away from our light. We get dull looking. Even your skin becomes gray. Did you know that? When you are from here down, when you're in your emotional stories and your poor me games and all of those things, your skin literally turns gray. Your lungs hurt because your lungs are breathing that life. And so your lungs will hurt when you hold on to trauma of the past. You have that grief that you're not allowing yourself to go through your stages. You have to allow yourself your stages. Doesn't No one got a time on them. But breathing through even in those times that I am still a light. I am still here. If I'm still here, what can I do today to embody and to rise my vibration so that I can help my own body heal, so that I can be a part of my own healer? Because we all have the healer within. And my job is not to heal you. My job is to give you the wisdom, to give you the knowledge, to give you the tools, to hold my light in front of you so that you can be inspired to see your own light, so that you can take your light and say, I want to find my light. Don't ever ask to be somebody. Don't say, I want to be her. Don't do that. But to really look and say, I want to see my light. I want to live from my light. So that then you start internalizing more and more of what the body needs to actually start to heal. Good morning, everybody. Bell. Well, my bubble has been burst. On my lowest days, the thing that helped me is when I tell myself, I know I'm a good person. Now I'll rethink it. Yes. So that's our claim to fame, right? Right. And so that's your claim to fame statement. That's your go-to statement. So how you're going to, so I wonder, so that's what you're going to ask yourself. I wonder what I can do that's in the energy of goodness today, of kindness today. So take out right? It's like association. Because that's you trying to validate. Okay, we're going to validate this card. And so the Guardian, the Willow, she's our card of the day. Good morning, Lindsay. And friends, good morning. Oh, and here she comes. Soon as Lindsay Burt signs in, here comes Davina. And why I'm laughing at Lindsay's because Lindsay was here when we were naming these cards. She came and spent a night, 2 nights, and she came and stayed for a couple nights, and we let the names all come to us for the cards. And as you can see, I love this card. So she's on my wall, and she is, to me, she embodies everything of how I let myself be imperfectly perfect. Sometimes my hair is not done. Sometimes I got the regrowth. I got some broken parts. You know, I got a broken wing. I've been up. I've been down. I haven't perfected life. And that's the whole thing about this journey that I take when people have these expectations of who you should be and what you should be like. And like, oh, she should be this, and she should be that. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. I'm a human. And so my human is as human as everybody else's, is that I pause and I think and I process. And I've stopped doing I stopped doing the cruel things to myself. I stopped being cruel. Stop being cruel to me. Stop speaking cruel to myself. And I put the damn work in. Stop blaming the past. And so you have your masculine and you have your feminine side, and you have those parts of you. So this is forever golden, which is Davina. And Davina represents the light that's within us externalized. She represents the light that's within externalized. So when we embody, when we go inward, when we internalize love and light instead of judgment, resentment, and all of those things from the material world, and the energy behind other people's words when they're coming at us and attacking us, when we embody that light enough, that light starts to illuminate out. And that light becomes a part of what your true self really is. And that is your truth. When you can allow your shadow self, when you can allow the pieces of you that are not your truth, that protected you over the years, that got you to where you are today, if you can allow those parts of you to walk through the light of who you are when you become the healed healer, when you become embodied in light, when you become the truth of you, then you allow that shadow self to walk through your truth, walking slightly behind you, not ashamed of who you used to be, not angry at who you used to be, but you allow all those parts of you to walk through your truth of love. So you always walk a few steps ahead. And as you walk ahead, the radiating healing light that trails behind you is how the other parts of you gets to walk through so that they also receive the healing. And then you get to show up as you, fully as you. And yes, I would wear that dress. And so when I was a little girl, that was the dress I used to always draw. I always drew that dress. And the artist, Amelia Richard, when I sent this picture to her, I had a pantsuit on the girl. And I had the same drapey thing over the top, but I had it as a pantsuit. And she was called the Healed Healer. And when she sent it back to me, she sent it back in a short skirt. Because the one thing that I always used to love wearing was short skirts. I still do. And the one thing that is true for me and that I know of me, when people used to ask me what was good about me, what did I like about myself? The only thing I used to be able to say I liked about myself was my legs. And that is sad when you can only find one or two parts of you that you like, but it's a start. But you use the parts of you that you like to then lead your life. But they cannot be everything. So once I gained all the weight, I couldn't hold up the legs. And the one thing that went on me, the one thing that forced me to make a change in my life, to leave the career, to walk the path that was being calling of me, to walk this journey to be who I am today, was my legs had to give out. So the one part of me that I used to use to define me, because I stood for 30 years behind that chair, was my legs. And it was the first thing to give out because I'd put in so much weight on those legs and so much pressure. And I put so much dependability on being able to stand up with my arms like this for 30 years, only seeing this part of me in a mirror. Well, I never seen me, I seen a client. So that was the one thing that gave out on me. Because it wasn't my most defining. It wasn't the parts of me. I proudly walk with them, but they are the magic of what is healing by me embodying the light, because I am still standing. I am still here. And that's something that if I had not have made the changes, I may be in that wheelchair. I may be fully disabled, but I'm not. And that's the difference. When you become forever golden, when you know the worth of you, the worth of your life, and that you have to be the guardian of this body. You have to protect it. You have to care for it. You have to love it. You have to nurture it. You have to feed it well if you want to make a change. I remember doing facials on people, and I would put all this beautiful stuff and I would nourish the skin and put moisture back in. And then they'd walk outside and have a cigarette and a coffee. And I'm like, that cigarette just took out every bit of that nourishment that we just put into your face. You want your face to be plump and to be healthier looking, but the moment you do, you just sucked out the life force energy. So all that time that I'm working on someone's face, I'm also a healer and I'm helping them build up that life force energy. That's what I mean. Someone else can't do your work that you have to do. And so someone else can't take the blame for the shit that you refuse to do for yourself. It's on you. And you have to be the one to do it. And when you do, you let the parts of you that you judge, that you criticize, that you picked apart, walk through this beautiful light. Because it will then be that you will not keep referring to the past. We use the past to talk about because of the books, but you will not keep referring back to there whenever you have a shitty day. Whenever you behave in a way that's away from your truth, you'll say, that was me. What's out of alignment? And what am I doing today that's not serving my highest good? That's how we bring about change. I don't know. That's friends. Before you got in there, that's what I was talking about. I'm like, what am I going to do when the cards are done? I don't know. I love these mornings. I really really think I'm keeping these mornings. I've rearranged I've rearranged my schedule, my life to, be available for these mornings, and I really think I'm going to keep up these mornings. Right, the pantsuits. My grandmother always wore pantsuits too, and I think that's why I put the pantsuits on, because my grandmother embodied light, and she walked in that light. And my grandmother always wore her dress pants. Never seen her in a pair of jeans ever in my life. Her dress pants that were perfectly ironed and perfectly in place, and those were the legs that I have been following. They were little tiny legs, and I was following those. Yes, because you got to show off those gorgeous legs. I'm showing them. I'm showing them, Lindsay. Right? You see her in you see her in pink and gray pantsuit. So when you're dreaming of seeing her in pink and gray, so really embody that self-love. And the gray really represents that. I always say, when I see spirit leave a body, so when I'm working with somebody when they're passing over and I see a body leave, when I see them leave, the soul self that leaves the body actually looks like gray paper cutout dolls. They kind of look like the color of my nails. That's the color. And you can see it leaving the body. And it's the most beautiful experience ever. And sometimes I see gray paper cutout dolls walking around. And pink is the love. Embody that self-love. The white is the enlightenment. Learn self-love and you will be enlightened. When you become enlightened, you will embody the light of the gold. You'll be not seeking to find gold out in the world. You will live as if you have all of the golden treasures that you possibly need. Gail, I still can't believe you had lots of weight. You are amazing. Aw, thank you. Destiny. This That's true. Smoking depletes you. So glad that I quit. Probably the best thing I ever did. Yes, and I used to smoke years ago. Years ago, I quit. I just threw them in the garbage, but I quit years ago. But I too used to smoke. Not a lot, but I did. Right. And so there's a lot of things that we do that's unhealthy. And I'm not saying I've perfected the health thing. I mean, I'm doing as much as I possibly can to try to remind myself to be healthy and kind to myself. And that's what you have to do. Right. And so, yes. And so it was 3 years. It'll be 4 years in October. It'll be 4 years in October since I made the big choice in my life to have my surgery. And I took off 100, I took off 133 pounds or something like that. And it was, and it's not like you take it off and you have to just forget about it, and then you have to be always consciously aware of, if you gain a few pounds, to go to the emotions. Where am I losing myself? Where am I falling away from myself? Where am I having, and I don't beat myself about the weight. I always go to the emotions. There is an emotional connection, a reason to why the weight is going on. And it's probably stress. It might be the stress hormones overactivating in the body. And so now we're going to pull out the last card of the morning. And this is smoke and mirrors. And I'm just validating with this card. This is smoke and mirrors. And so the illusions of the truth. See, when you look in that mirror, what do you see? And so when you look in and you can see the beautiful heart. So when you can heal through the sacral, when you can heal through the emotional stories that you are allowing to trigger a response to the past, then you truly can start to see yourself. When you look into the mirror, see the heart that is much deeper than the heart that is right here in your body, not the mechanical heart that keeps you going. See the heart, see the light. Look deep enough into your eyes to see, because this is the illusion that when you wear the mask, you put on the persona, when you act out your roles and your characters of the story of life, that no matter what, your truth is peeking through, and your attitude is showing when you move far enough away from you. So this is the beautiful Mara. And so she's being observed. So she has an observer and the cat is watching her. So you are always being observed. And that is something so, you got that one this morning, Lindsay? See? So you're always being observed. So whenever you're talking about yourself, and even when you're all alone and you think nobody else can hear you, you're always being heard. Everything you say is heard. There's always an observer. I'm trying to find that card. So you're always, always, always being observed. So being conscious of your words means even when you think there is nobody else around, even when you think nobody else is around. And that's how the smoke and mirrors, because when you start to tell yourself all this, then you prepare yourself for the day and you will put a mask on. And you'll wear a mask out into the world and you'll wear that all day. And then when you get home at the end of the day, the first thing that you do is you fall apart. Big brother. No, not big brother. Big angels, big spirit guides, big guardians, big God, whatever, the big light, but also the other side of you. The soul self of you is listening to you every day. And that's where the anxiety comes. That's where that hurt comes from. They're saying to you constantly, can you feel this? That pain you're feeling today? Can you feel that that's what you are creating? You are bringing this into your reality. You're crippling yourself. You're not seeing yourself. And so when we can go beyond the illusions, we can find the truth that the imperfect us is more than enough. I don't need to put a mask on. Some days I'm lucky because I'm doing this in the morning with you guys. And mornings is my hardest days for even being able to talk, because it takes so long to get charged up with when your nerve endings don't have any coating. And so I have to keep trying to build myself up. So this morning class was a big push for me. This was something about me pushing myself beyond my limits, to not be limited by a condition, to allow it to keep me from robbing my mornings, because there's so much about my mornings. There's so much about the morning that is so beautiful. And I was spending it, I spend a long time in meditation, but this was pushing me to come out, even to show up in the world, even when I am not at my finest in my health, in the mornings when it takes me time to get up. So I listened to my own heart. I listened to my truth, and I started to walk a new light. And so now I'm using up more morning hours instead of waiting for the parts of me to work. I'm forcing those parts of me to have to build a new neural pathway so that I can start a new healing journey that takes me beyond where I was even 3 months ago, 6 months ago. So This is your cards. This is the cards of today. I just accidentally deleted Willow, but Willow was our card of today. She's our guardian. And so you remember that you have your guardians. You have something that is bigger than you to help you, but most of all, you have to be the guardian of this light. And that when you embody that light within deep enough and full enough that you also radiate it out, it fills your aura, it fills your life. So now tomorrow morning, yeah, so I get up about 5 in the morning. I'm usually up about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm up really, really early. And when it's nice here, friends, I walk as well. So when it's cold, I don't walk that early, but when it's nice, I get up and walk that early all the time. Right, new neural pathways. Because one thing that most people don't know is that I do neurolinguistics programming. I am a professional life coach. I am working through my master's right now in neurolinguistics programming. So I'm taking my master's in neurolinguistics programming. But I also do a whole lot of other body healing things. And I am also trained in somatic therapy, somatic body therapy training. So I do a lot of different works to help people be able to build those new neural pathways. And you got to start with you. So changing your words, changing your thoughts, and not be holding the past responsible and accountable for what you need to do today. So tomorrow morning, I don't know what time I'm going to be in because I'm going grandparenting now. I'm going to go pick up my grandbaby. Going to pick up little Sadie Grace Louise, and she's coming home with me for the weekend. So this weekend, our times will be when she naps. This weekend will be on Sadie time. So when she naps, I will be in. It'll still be in the morning. When she takes her morning nap, I will be in. So, oh, you're an NLP master as well, Franz? Oh, cool. I love that. You are also welcome. Thank you all so very much. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Aw, thank you, Lisa. And you are a treasure to me, my friend. Oh, yes, grandchildren are fantastic. She's the best. So thank you all. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you tomorrow. Much love. Bye bye.